here. I think we're here, Fonz. I think we're out
here. We're live,
baby.
Hold on a second. I gotta share it around, everybody.
Let's share it around. I gotta make sure I am recording in Riverside so we can get those clips, those nice clippies going on. All right, but I think we're here. We have the game. Oh yeah, I just see it went live. Let's go, baby. I know what I'm doing still. I'm not super washed.
It's about the Mets, baby. Let's go Mets. I'm sorry, just kidding. Not about the Mets today. Share it around, everybody.
All right, hold on. I want to make sure I can hear. Let's go! Let's go!
I'm saying I heard it too.
I'm not as washed as I thought I was. Let's go.
Guys, Kearns is not washed.
Guys, I'm not washed as a producer.
I'm like, hold on a second. Whoa.
Dude, I'm like, I don't remember. I'm like ready to jump into it. I was setting this up and I was like ready to jump into it. And I'm like, I don't remember how to do any of this stuff. Golly. Let me get the share going. So, Fonz, how are you feeling? I know you're feeling probably a lot better than I am today.
I'm feeling good. I know, like, me and you, Kearns, we were actually gonna do like a regular show, and then I'm like, we texted each other. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do like a first half watch along, and during that we're watching it, we'll have a little chit chat about everything. It's all NBA stuff today. We'll do a little, probably some other stuff. People ask us some questions, but we're gonna get some more NBA stuff out there. Kearns is the NBA guy, so let's watching the first half of this game. We'll see what happens. Maybe if it goes well, we'll probably do a little bit into the second half.
Maybe get into the second half if the game is
the stream
is going.
But it's not just the game though, because we got a lot to talk about. The NBA, the rest of the NBA playoffs, the draft lottery, which I have thoughts and opinions on that, and I think some awards, right? Some updated awards. I think they're not fully announced yet.
Yeah, we've got some awards, but let's get right down to the real breaking news that I know, Fonz, everyone wants us to talk about. So Jalen Brunson should have Kyle Lowry's ass, right?
That's all I gotta say.
I mean, with that build, right? With that build, the stockiness, he should have the ass of a Kyle Lowry. And he has the ass of a much lesser man, Fonz.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I may or may not have had that thought in my mind until you said it. I'm like, all right, that's why me and Kearns connect a lot. Because we have like the same kind of thought, though, too.
We're right here. We're on the same wavelength, baby.
We're close on this, too. So I'm going to be loading up the game right now, though, too. Which, shout out to Max, by the way. I switched my plan just for this game. Usually I watch it in my room, but I'm here in the studio. No TV here yet. Coming soon. I got to build it up a little bit more. But, I'm watching it now. I got to build. I'm building up more, Kearns. We got a lot coming on with the studio. Maybe one day you and Fitz come down here, too. It's 4 to 5 right now. I don't know. You're watching it just as me, right? At the same time? Just want to make sure.
Probably. I'm actually just still sharing around. I'm doing some sharing from the actual JDF page right now on Facebook and on Instagram and all that good stuff. So the game is, and I am watching on my phone because I also. Oh, actually, I can put it on my PlayStation. I'm a dummy. I'm a dumb dummy. Hold on, let me do that real quick.
And while he's taking that, speaking of PlayStation, if you guys want to check out their gaming streams, Kearns and Fitz do a great job of that. I actually made an appearance a couple days ago when you guys played some Fall Guys.
Yeah, we gotta get you. We gotta get you on that more because that was a ton of fun.
I gotta get, and I told Kearns and Fitz is my goal in 25. I took a lot of years off from gaming. I really just never did it that much. But now I'm kind of back into the fold a little bit. Made a new account, a fresh start for 2025. So I want to play some different games here. Some games actually that I never got a chance to play a couple of years ago that I still have that I'm going to try to kind of play out here too. That includes doing some online stuff. I mean, Fall Guys is obviously a go-to, but there's a bunch of other stuff too. But
ooh, that did not come out the way I wanted to.
But
yeah, dude, we gotta get you back on there. We gotta get you. We got you for some Fall Guys. I like playing Fall Guys, but Fall Guys does kind of get that. I feel like it's one of those games that.
After a while, I get it. I get you. When we stopped after 45 minutes an hour, I was like, yeah, I think that's the max you can probably do. I would say, right? Like I went like.
Yeah, it definitely gets to a point where you're kind of like, wow, okay, this is a little bit. All right, we do have some comments here. Now, let me see if I can figure this out to.
We're on Twitch too. We're on Twitch also, Twitch and YouTube. By the way, again, we said we are moving away from Facebook. We officially moved away from Facebook. We want to thank everybody for checking us out on Facebook throughout the years. We figured we made a collective decision that it's kind of time to end. the Facebook era. It was good, and we appreciate all the people. But we kind of want to grow the YouTube page and the Twitch more. So again, if you're on here on YouTube, which you already are, thank you. And if you've been on Facebook with us for how long we were on Facebook for? A long time.
Dude, years. Couple of years on Facebook. Yeah. We were on there for a very long time.
I was going to say, yeah, a couple of years, but it actually literally was a lot of years.
No, it literally was,
yeah. Everybody. I know.
So, that was... Mad. Yeah, that was kind of where we got our start and our get going, but and me and Fitz did talk about it a little bit at one point. It just stuff happened. We got to move on. We got to get to something new because when
me and Fitz were talking about bringing back JDF, I said to him like maybe we should start off on Facebook and eventually kind of do full-time YouTube and Twitch too. So I think we were all kind of on the same page with that as well too.
Yeah, I think we kind of all knew that it just wasn't going to be like the move there. All right, let me get this game going. I get it.
So, but Kearns, I'll ask you this though, because you know me, I'm a Jersey guy. You guys want to know the official uniform matchup for this game? We have the Knicks wearing their association white uniforms, and the Celtics, Kearns, they're wearing their black statement jerseys. What do you think of that uniform matchup?
Oh, that's an interesting matchup, Fonz. I don't know if, hey, if we win this game, it's kind of a statement, but maybe it's not the right thing we want to make. We do have some comments.
Yes, read the comments.
Real quick.
I have a question involving jerseys, so yes, please do the chat stuff.
So we do have a comment from Fitz. He said live. He said, yeah, we are live. We are live. Wesley Burton said, serious question. Without Tatum, do the Celtics have a chance? I don't know who their bench players are that will be asked to fill the void. Getting to this real quick. It's going to be super, super difficult. I don't think so. I think the way that the series has gone so far in terms of like just kind of being outplayed by the Knicks, I think losing Tatum kind of takes away that chance, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what their starting lineup's going to be because we also don't know how like Kristaps is going to be because he's been dealing with his mystery illness that's probably mono. That's what I think. I am very convinced that it's mono.
A lot of people are assuming that that's what it is though too, but like it's a very mystery. Like we have no idea what it is, but from the symptoms of what people are saying, like it kind of sounds like it's mono from what what we've been hearing about like how he's feeling.
Right, and it makes so much sense for it to be mono, like the fact that he's like basically just what they were saying, he's been. How do I figure this out? I don't know how to do this. Sorry, I tried to figure out the.
Pulling up the comments.
The comments, and I am just lost and confused.
We're just two old, washed up people. That's why we appreciate and love Kevin so much for doing so much for us that we stink, guys.
We stink. We smell bad.
Well, you know what? This game might not stink though. I think it's going to be a good game. But continue with what you were saying though, because I have a kind of like a follow up kind of with.
So and I think it's one of those things too, where it's kind of like a morale thing, right? Like you watch him go down like that. It's a non-contact injury, and it's a massive injury, and now there's so many implications of the future, and realistically, that injury just changed the next couple of years of the Celtics' future. Just changed it completely.
Mm-hmm.
So, in short, to answer your question, I mean it's probably a zero. Almost, it's pretty close to a 0% chance. If I'm being completely honest, and I hate to say this, and people who know me then know like that I am the last person to ever give up on this team. But for something like that to happen, I think it could legitimately be close to zero.
Really with the playoffs, you never know. You can still listen. There's something Jaylen Brown obviously could step up big time too, and you got other guys like Peyton Pritchard, 6th Man of the Year winner by the way too, Derek White. So listen, crazy things have happened. Obviously, me being the Knicks guy, I want it to be a blowout, but also I want it to be a good competitive series. And as we're watching it now, I'm at the point now where it's 9-8, Knicks leading, 8 minutes in the first quarter. Up. I'm assuming that's the right time, Ray and you.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Kearns up. So let me ask you this with the whole Tatum thing as we're watching. Obviously, Tatum with the Achilles, he's out for the year, right? So you assume with the Celtics, he's not going to be here for 25, 26, right? I don't, some people might say, oh, he might come back at the tail end of the season, right? With that, I'm not just assume he's going to be out for the entire year, right? He's not coming back, even if it's a late push in the playoffs or something too. What do you do with this team now, kind of going into, the offseason and even just preparing for 25, 26? who's on the table to be moved. What do you do, assuming that Tatum's just completely gone for all of 25-26?
It's really interesting. I've actually been having, I mean, obviously, with what happened, that's pretty much like the main conversation I've been having with most people that I know who are Celtics fans the last like couple days. I think that we all kind of assumed that KP and JP and Drew, are probably gone. One of the two of them is probably gone pretty quickly. I think Drew is the first domino to fall. I think if anything, he's probably the guy that would get moved quicker than KP, just because I feel like there are still teams that are going to want a guy like Drew. But with KP right now, the way he's... Because just like Drew does the little things, right? Like, Drew might not be the guy who fills the stat sheet completely and like gets you everything that you need and scores 25 points a game, but he is going to do those little things that help you win games. And I think that is going to be so valuable to so many teams. Okay, now I have it on my computer so I can stop turning.
Going back and forth.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to turn my TV off now so it's not in the background. There we go. And I think that, like, to us right now, and the fact that we're going to have a very difficult near future, it's going to be kind of hard to, like, realistically, I don't think we're going to be... I mean, we might still... I think we'll still be a playoff team, but we're not going to be a competitor next year. We're not going to be competing for a title. So having a guy like Drew, like, doesn't really help us that much. And he's 34 or something like that on a huge contract. So I think he's going to be the first domino to fall. I think what the smart thing to do would be let KP play a little bit into next season and build his value back up and then move him by the deadline. Get whatever assets you can out of those two guys. Go get yourself another big because you're going to need another big. And we don't know what Al might retire too. So we might be going into next season without
He's
Al
up there.
So I think what you do is you use those two pieces to retool. You get good, competent pieces, at least get some good draft capital if you can around out of Drew and KP, and Sam Hauser might be another name that gets moved. I know he's on the top of some teams' boards in terms of like a guy you want to go get. He's just a really good 3-and-D kind of guy. But I think you just retool. You put a team together that when Tatum comes back, we hope for the best that he can be. That's a great pass by Jaylen Brown. Holy cow!
That was good. No, I'm not gonna. That was really nice. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, but you retool. You see what you can get to put around these guys, and you continue with the core of Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Then you do exactly what you did before. You just retool around those guys.
And really, like, because you think about, you said with the Drew Holiday thing, you said how old you said he was again? 30 what?
He's up there in age. He's like 33, but 34 maybe.
So say, all right, so 33, right? Say he's 33. Yeah. Tatum misses all of next year, right? Then Drew will be 34.
He's 34. He's 34 now. So it's like...
So 34. Next year he'll be 35. Tatum comes back, he's going to be 36. Do you want him to be one of the main guys with Tatum when he comes back at that point too? You know, because again, I'm assuming he's out for the entire year. I don't think he's coming back towards the tail end of 26. If they make the playoffs and they go, oh, we can have him back for the playoffs and make a little sort of a playoff push. No, especially with Achilles injuries, you really think it's really 2 years because you come back the 1 year after injury and then you got to take the year to kind of get back into the rhythm. I feel like too. So do you retool it for the future or just for like the 1 or 2 years and then go back from there? I think you kind of just overall just retool everything and then hope to see what happens when you get Tatum back, because you're not also guaranteed that Tatum's going to come back. I want him to because he's one of the top players in the NBA. You want him to come back at full strength being that guy again, but Achilles injuries are tough. That might not be the case for him too. So you got to kind of think about both ends of that too. You have to assume that he's not going to come back to the full strength he was, especially with that injury, because it's a brutal injury.
I think the one thing that we have going for Tatum and his Achilles injury is that A, he's still young. So like we've seen this injury before, but I feel like the fact that he's as young as he is definitely helps. I think the part of it is also the fact that Tatum's game is not entirely predicated on like just being more athletic than the guy guarding him. He can still shoot. Yeah. He can still, he can still get to the post. Even if he's not the same as he is, which he might not be, I think he'll still be able to be a high-level player, and at least a player that you can help like lead your team. And again, a guy who can. I mean, again, and I'm not saying he's the same person, but we've seen the comparisons of their whole career. But like Kevin Durant had his Achilles injury, and he came back and put up 30 the first year he actually played. So it's like, it's definitely possible, and I'm hoping for the best, but I don't know. It's tough to look like that far ahead into the future because I feel like you can retool for the right now still, and if it doesn't work out, then you still have a couple years where you can move Brown if you need to, or you can move Derek White if you need to. If it doesn't work out, you can hit the restart button.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
Real quick,
not a terrible spot though. Go ahead.
I do just want to read this other comment from Wesley Burton. Any chance Boston would seek out Giannis? Could they afford him monetarily? And with the trade assets that Milwaukee would be seeking, what do their future draft picks look like? Would you want him? All right, so in order, I don't think they would be looking for a guy like Giannis. I get it. I get where you're coming from with that, but I feel like that this team is so predicated on taking 3-pointers that you have to be able to shoot to be on this team. Oh,
see Josh Hart, by the way.
Holy cow!
I think he got elbowed by Jaylen Brown.
Oh, I want to see the replay of this really quickly. Oh, what happened to Jay? What the heck happened?
Yeah. Oh no, I thought Jaylen Brown did. I think he something with his wrist.
This is Luke.
Oh, dirty Luke Cornett.
Oh my God, that's he's going up. He's just going up.
I know, but that's
just going up.
But it got hard probably right by the eye.
Yeah.
That's
Looks like he's bleeding from one spot. That's weird.
Nah, I was kidding. That's not a. Listen, I just make jokes here, but that was just bad.
Ooh!
Bad
Oh my God! Oh, when he first gets up. Oh my God!
Yeah, you see it. It got him in a good spot because it's still bleeding too.
I know. I wonder if they're gonna call what they're gonna call here.
What are the Brown thing? Did he just jam his wrist or something?
I think he went to go reach and he must. Oh my God! This all happened. I didn't even realize this all happened. Dude, that's so weird. Yeah, it didn't even look like it hit him too. That's so weird.
No, on that angle, but the other one you see the elbow getting right on the thing too. I've had those in rugby. Let me tell you, those are not. One of them actually ended up. I got an orbital bone replaced. That's what happened. So that's a fun fact for people that don't know about that. Yeah. So, but that one didn't bleed. It just had a whole thing broken. But what'd you say about Giannis with Boston? Because that's another topic we got to get to also.
Mm-hmm. Getting back to Giannis, I mean, I don't know how his fit works on this team. To be honest, I don't know that it would be an amazing fit. Could they afford him monetarily? I actually don't know. I would have to look at Giannis's. You would have to trade a lot, and it would basically put us in a if we don't win, we're fucked type situation.
And I don't want to excuse my language, a cap hell.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I'm not saying they're both the same exact player, but like Tatum when Tatum comes back, Tatum and Giannis, same kind of position, like 3-4-ish, like tweener type of player. Like again, not saying they're the exact same, but like. Kind of similar position-wise, too. So if they come back, then how are you going to get both of them to be on the court? You probably can because they're both talented, but like that's going to be kind of confusing then. And like you said, if it doesn't work out, then you got to get two really big contracts, and then you got to build a bunch of veterans in between. Then is that going to be a successful team in the East with a bunch of other teams now on the up and up? And if they trade him to Milwaukee, would they take Drew Holiday? Would they take KP? Maybe they'll take Jaylen Brown because you're going to have to move Jaylen Brown with his contract. That would probably be the one you'd have to. You know, it's going to be like if I'm.
Well, I think money wise, I think KP and Drew money wise would make it work because if you throw in like Hauser and stuff too, I think that makes it work again for the money. I just think I know like but what you got to think Giannis is a generational player. You know what I mean? Giannis is not just. It's not like you're just trading for another star. You're trading for an MVP, a DPOY. Like, I don't think we have the assets to go. Because realistically, too, if you're Milwaukee, what are you trying to do? You have no young core. You have nothing that you're no picks,
no draft capital.
No draft. Yeah, you have no draft capital at all. You have no young core. You have nothing that you're excited. You're looking 5 years into the future and you're excited about. So if you're Milwaukee, you want a guy that you know can be or you think can either be your guy in the next 5 years or can be a huge part of your rebuilding process. And like Milwaukee doesn't. I don't think Milwaukee looks at KP or Drew Holiday and sees that.
They already had a Drew. They already had Drew.
Yeah, they already had Drew. They won. They shipped him out.
Literally, that's what they did. They won. They shipped him out. That's literally what happened.
Yeah. So Wesley, what do their future draft picks look like? Are you talking about the Celtics draft picks or Milwaukee's draft picks? I know the Celtics. I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee traded those for the dates. Traded a few for the Dame move. I'm pretty sure, right?
Milwaukee doesn't have like any.
For a while, like they don't control their draft.
They don't have the draft pick for the next few years. Wesley just said. Wesley Burton just said, I saw a proposal where Indiana would trade Siakam, Mathurin, Ben Shepherd, and multiple draft picks if that ever came to fruition. I really hope the Pacers would pass.
Wait, Giannis first?
Yeah, for Giannis, yeah. That's another weird one because I mean, having Halliburton and Giannis would mix really well. That would actually, I think that duo would be pretty cool.
I think they made a big haul to get Siakam. I think they want to keep him around for a while. You know what I mean? Remember that again, Giannis is a generational talent, but I think they've done so well with Siakam and they gave up a lot for him.
Yeah.
You know, are they gonna try to risk that and other young assets too they have on that team? Again, it wouldn't. This wouldn't shock me though because. This Giannis thing is very interesting because like he could end up just even staying in Milwaukee because he likes Milwaukee, he likes the fans, he likes the culture there. It's just I feel like the team just has failed to. That finals thing just feels like a fever dream because like they have really not been hardcore competitive since then.
No, they really have not at all.
They've fallen flat in the playoffs like every single time.
Yeah, they've been they've been pretty awful. Like if we're being really honest, it's not even bad. They've been straight up awful.
Yeah.
I just want to see Boston Celtics future first round picks. I'm pretty sure we're in control of most of ours. And I thought we got a draft pick in that Kristaps
Mitch Robinson
trade.
made two free throws. We are so back, baby. 20 to 23 Celtics up. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. This is flying by the first quarter, by the way.
Yeah, it actually is.
They're letting the boys play.
It looks like we have. I could have sworn we got a pick in that Kristaps trade. It looks like we pretty much just have our own picks.
I thought you traded.
For the rest of the years.
Traded away a pick. I thought you traded away a pick for the Porzingis. Or no, are you talking about Kristaps trade? Yeah.
It looks like in 2028 we have a swap, so that must be the Porzingis. No, we got it, dude. It's still crazy because it sounds insane to say, but we got a pick in the Kristaps trade somehow. We somehow got a pick, but yes, we basically just have our own picks.
Yeah, that was the Marcus Smart to Memphis, right? That was
it was that whole thing.
Trade.
Yeah.
The 3-team or 4-team trade or something like that.
3 or 4 teams, and we got him from Washington. Washington traded him for nothing because they're stupid.
Porzingis has had just an interesting career when you really think about it, but it's just really had a very odd career.
He has had a very, very odd career, dude. Like, super strange start with the Knicks. Just looked like he was going to be the dude. Like, he looked like he was going to be...
First year struggled. Second year, you're like, oh. And third year, you're like, oh, he's here. Then all-star nod, then tears his ACL. Then get traded to Dallas. It's like, you had that literally first month of his third season. I'm like, oh, we are on a roll now with Porzingis.
We
might have found our guy. And now we have Jalen Brunson.
Hey, there you go. There you go. You have Jalen Brunson. Moving on, though. So, quickly do want to touch on one thing that I don't want to touch on, but it has to be said, has to be talked about. As we're watching... Oh, no. What did I just do? Oh, okay. As we are watching this Game 5...
What the...
No. As we're watching this... It's over. And bye, guys. That was the stream. 20 minutes, and we're done.
Thank you, guys.
As we're watching this Game 5, Celtics versus Knicks, in Game 4, such a terrible, terrible thing happened, and we have not... we touched on it already a little bit, but we haven't gotten to the actual meat and potatoes of it, that Jason Tatum, his injury was a full Achilles tear.
Yeah. Those things. Oh, that's the injuries. I mean, I get squeamish in general, but the Achilles is always like because you see it.
Yeah.
You see it like.
You never know, like you can always tell that it's bad when it's a non-contact injury. Like when someone gets hurt and it's non-contact.
The non-contact, it's like you're like crap.
Yeah.
Like example, when I went to a Jets Dolphins game, I saw the Dolphins player, pass rusher, off the snap, just fell face down, not to get touched. And you saw the close-up, you saw his leg, you saw the Achilles, and you're like, because it's one of those injuries that's like you just plant your foot the wrong way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And God forbid that can happen. So yeah, continue with what you were saying with that.
Well, it was even like who was it that? Oh, man. Who was it on the 49ers who ran out during the Super Bowl when they literally ran out, and it wasn't Fred Warner. It wasn't
not Drake Greenlaw.
Yeah, I think it was Drake. I think it was Drake Greenlaw, wasn't it?
Was it Drake, the other linebacker? Yeah. I think it might have been Drake Greenlaw. Yeah, that one would again, simple. Like when I saw the Dolphins player, it was coming off the snap. That Niners player just running to this field. Like literally anything, you just plant your foot the wrong way, and the Achilles injuries now are like, because what was the big injury back then where you're like, oh, they're done for? It was the ACL tear.
Well, yeah, the ACL, and then the new surgery started coming. I think it was AP, wasn't it? It was Adrian Peterson was the first guy that had like that revolutionary.
That guy came back like in 8 months, not even had a little close to MVP season. You're like, what the hell? Like literally.
Yeah.
Now the Achilles is the one.
But hopefully, I mean, they're hopefully making some new strides. I mean, again, like we have seen some people come back. Terrell Suggs had an Achilles tear. He came back. Mm-hmm. David Beckham had an Achilles tear. He came back. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, like the latest one, KD had an Achilles tear. He came back, and KD probably wasn't the same player, but like KD was still.
Bryant.
The Kobe one's tough because Kobe Bryant teared it so late into his career that when he came back, it was like.
He did the free throws after. So you're like, is he really that hurt? But you're like, no, it's Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant would have literally just like been still playing if he's like, yeah, I'm playing no matter what. He literally shot 2 free throws after that.
Kobe would have played.
That's an outlier. That's an outlier from everybody else.
Yeah. Kobe doesn't get injured. The injuries just get Kobe. Like that's not.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
And then Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers had his Achilles and he came back.
No, that was a weird one too with the Jets.
Yeah.
That was like the very weird. That's another weird one where the injury didn't even look like it was. He just got tackled and he landed his foot like the wrong way, but didn't look that bad. But then when you look closer, you go, ooh, that.
Ooh, brother. Ooh.
I keep cutting you off with the Tatum thing. I'm sorry, Celtics fan. I'm sorry.
You're triggering us, Fonz. You are triggering us.
Sorry.
I want to see if there's anything on Twitch.
I'm cutting off everything I'm saying too. I will not say anything else too. But like, yeah. You want to keep going, or because I was gonna add a little more to it too.
No, go ahead. Add some more. That's fine.
Well, obviously,
push me further down in the depression, Fonz.
No, because like honestly, I want to say that like I hate to see a star player get hurt, especially in a series like this, Boston versus New York. You want your best. You want your best teams on both ends. Look, I could easily be on here and being like cheering the Jason Tatum injury, but I really wasn't. I was like, damn, like that sucks because like he's actually like a fun player to watch and he's one of the top players. And again, a team like the Knicks, you want to go up against your best, right?
Right.
You always want to have good. You always want the NBA to have like the star power, the top players healthy no matter what. So generally, I was like, damn, like that actually like sucks. Like I didn't even cheer for like, damn, that like I wanted to be better. And it's also the timing too. When we talked a little bit earlier, it's now May, middle of May. Like if this happened, if he tore his Achilles say in January, we could have had a good chance that we come back at the tail end of the following season. You're so late now into the playoffs that like he's missing all of 25-26. So like that's like it's just the time itself too. If it did in the beginning of the season, you'd be like, all right, so he'll be fine a little bit like towards next year. You're so late now that like, and if there's like, oh, we might come back, like I said, he might come back for the playoffs next year. I wouldn't. If I'm Tatum, I wouldn't do it. Or the boss would be like, no, I want to keep like your star player. Like, wait until you're fully like good to go. Like this season's like a loss for you, Tatum. Like, don't even like worry about coming back. I saw that too by OG, by the way. What the hell? Porzingis.
It's a block.
Get him out.
That's a block. So I'm saying that's a block. That's a foul. That's a foul on Deuce McBride. Whatever. That's crazy. that is some horseradish right there. I'm not gonna say the actual word. That's some horseradish. All right. So while we do have the Knicks and Celtics game up, we can kind of go into some of the other things. You know, we have other playoff series to talk about as well. Wesley Burton is here. The Pacers did beat the Cavaliers. So they will be advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row.
They did.
What is that? Oh, it's my sock.
Good for them, for the Pacers, man.
I know, good for them.
Good for them. And then this whole Cavs thing, man, it's back-to-back years of disappointment. They've been the top two. They were the 1 seed this year, right? Or was it 1 or 2? They were 1 this year.
They were 1 this year.
If I'm not. What were they last year? Were they? They were up there too. They were high in the seedings also last year.
I think last year they were 2.
Or at least
or 3, maybe.
They were always like even the beginning of the year, they're always like, this is like a favorite team to go far in the playoffs or whatever. And it's the second straight year, maybe even third year, just like you have the talent on the roster. You made all these moves at the deadline, getting like a DeAndre Hunter to kind of help out your team more and more, make the signs like the Max Strus. And it's another year of disappointment. So like the Cavs, man, it just seems like they can't get it together in the playoffs. You got a new coach in Kenny Atkinson. You thought Bickerstaff was the problem. It seems like it's the same kind of team over and over again. You also can factor in injuries a little bit too, but the Pacers, man, I give this team a lot of credit, you know, from trading even for Pascal Siakam. Halliburton, you know, was voted the most overrated player. He's been really solid this season too. And all the guys off the bench too, they have a very solid roster from top to bottom. They have a lot of depth. So I think they really are going to be a problem, whoever faces them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think they're a very good team. No one talks about a lot of.
And I thought that was weird, like the whole Halliburton overrated thing, because like, you know, I said what I said about the Pacers team, but I never said like I never hated on Halliburton the way Fitz hates on Halliburton. Mm-hmm. But I never really got the whole overrated Halliburton thing for the simple fact of he's like I feel like he's one of those players. It's not like he's put on like a massive pedestal either. Like I don't think there's people arguing that Halliburton's the best player in the league. Like sure, some people might say he's the best point guard in the league, which I would disagree with that. But like I feel like
he's up there.
He's up there, yeah.
Up there, not number 1, but you could say maybe second down, like, you know, something like that in that conversation.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so weird. Like I find it weird when people call a player like that overrated when it's not like, and again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Halliburton. Like again, he is definitely one of the best, definitely top 10, no doubt. Some people put him top 5. I'd have to go through it, but there's definitely an argument to be a top 5 point guard in the league as well, too. Mm-hmm. And like I feel like, oh yes, Peyton Pritchard at the buzzer. Damn.
32-30, New York Knicks end of the first quarter.
It's a good first quarter. It's tight, close quarter.
That's very competitive first quarter.
I just think it's weird. Like when you think of like overrated players, you think of like people who are like put at the top of the league, like the Lukas and the like LeBrons and Steph and KDs and stuff like that.
At one point, people said I didn't agree with it, but a lot of people said Russell Westbrook. Like I never thought that, but you know what I mean. Like people thought him.
Yep, he was definitely a guy that was put at the top of that list for sure. So it's just like I don't know. I feel like it's weird to call someone that's like where the like is at the level he's at right now in his career. He's probably at that like all-star level, right? Where like you kind of have like your superstars, your stars. I feel like I don't know. I feel like you can kind of interchange the words star and all-star, right? Like you kind of have the superstar players who are like the best of the best, and then you have like your star all-star players. And I think Halliburton has gotten to that like all-star star level.
He's in like he's top all-star, very low on the star, like at that fringe, like very top all-star but low star. But I get what you're saying with that.
So it's kind of weird to be like, oh, he's the most overrated player in the league. It's like, but like, who's really overrating him? Like, I don't really see the overrating happening for Halliburton.
It's like, everybody on the Bucks. It's everybody on the Bucks. That
that's probably what the Bucks.
The entire Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Milwaukee Bucks roster. That's what it was.
But getting back to the Cavaliers, man, yeah, dude, it seems like they're like, it feels like they're not built for the playoffs.
Roster, it should be good on paper, man. Garland's good, Mobley's good, Allen is pretty solid. You got DeAndre Hunter was a good 3-and-D guy. Like you have like good players. They just don't mesh well together. Yep. So like if you're Cleveland, do you move any of these guys? I feel like you don't move Mobley. No. I feel like that's like you just signed him long term. He's a star player. He's like the star player, all-star type of like move. So is Allen the guy? Maybe Darius Garland. Like, do you move any of them? Donovan Mitchell too, another one. I just forgot to add him on the list too. But
I don't, dude. I feel like if I'm Cleveland, I play around with the idea of moving Garland and and even putting Mitchell down to the 1 and having him. Leslie Burton said Fitz secretly loves him some Hallie.
I'm gonna get Fitz a Halliburton jersey.
That would be actually so funny. I would play around with the idea of moving Garland and moving Mitchell down to the 1 and having Mitchell be your lead guard, because I feel like both those guys are most effective with the ball in their hands, and they both
like the same
really, really need the ball in their hands. I think that neither of them are. I would say Garland's probably a below average, and Donovan Mitchell's probably an average to slightly above average defender. So, like, I think you move one of those guys, you go get a really, really solid defensive guard, and you just hope. I think so. If I'm Cleveland, actually, I think the thing that I hope to see most this offseason is to see if Trae Young gets traded somewhere else. As if Trae Young gets traded somewhere else, and it's kind of a long shot because I don't think... Yeah, if Trae Young gets traded somewhere else, it's kind of a long shot because I don't think that they'd be willing to move this person, but I think that if Trae Young gets traded somewhere else, I would be calling Atlanta's phone to see if they would like... If you could get Dyson Daniels off of Atlanta and into Cleveland. I think that would be a perfect guy to put like right next to Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell and Dyson Daniels. Dyson. Whoa, I just going to botch it.
Hey.
Dyson Daniels. That would be a very good backcourt. That's actually a very solid backcourt. I would like that one a lot.
Or if you can, and I don't think you would need Garland, if you could get like a guy like Shaedon Sharp and just hope that he develops a little bit better, and just get someone who's, I don't know, it feels like they have to switch something up. Maybe the double big thing isn't working. Maybe Mobley and Allen don't work together.
It might be the Mobley Allen thing. So do you obviously, I think you move Allen, you don't move Mobley.
Right, so you keep Mobley.
What's the value of Allen? You probably can get something out of him. Teams would definitely want to use a big like Allen in there too.
Yeah. But I think if you move Allen, I think you have to go with the Celtics playbook, and because Mobley started shooting threes a little bit this year, and I think if he just continues to get better and better at shooting threes, you got to go get yourself. You move Mobley to the 5, and you go get a power forward that can shoot. So then you can spread the floor around Mobley, and then even Mobley can spread the floor a little bit, and you have that 5-out offense. I feel like probably what happens, and again, I wasn't as invested into the games as I would have liked to be or should have been. So a lot of the games I didn't watch as much, but like I'm sure what happens is you get the paint gets crowded, and then you have guards like Mitchell and Garland who like to get to the rim and they can't because Mobley and Allen are in the paint.
Now you got 4 players in the paint, all time, like majority of the game.
Yep. And there's no driving kick factor because there's no one out there to shoot the ball. You've got Max Strus and Dean Wade out there to shoot the ball, and that's it.
Start a playoff game with Dean Wade too. That's when you know. Put that on the poll. Put it on the JDF Twitter poll. Are you going to win if you have Dean Wade in your starting lineup?
Yeah, that's when you know you might be a little cooked.
It might be though. But again, we give credit to the Pacers because they played a hell of a series, and you know they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you know what? They've been doing well. They built this team. They built the team really well. You know, remember the days of the Paul George Pacers teams? They went from that era to now this with the Halliburton, Pascal Siakam era. They're building, man. I give them credit. I hated them last year against the Knicks, obviously. So if they do go past them and face them, the Pacers, Knicks Pacers series.
That's not a foul.
What happened here?
That's not a foul. That's not a foul. That's not a foul. That is not a foul.
Let me see that one. Let me see this. I
don't think this is the play that they just rewound, but
I was gonna say that I was talking. I didn't even.
Ooh, Big Al, get big, yes sir.
Big Al Horford.
Dude, I love me some Al Horford, man. I wish Al Horford was 10 years younger just so he could stay on this team.
Man, people don't know prime Al Horford on the Hawks was that dude.
Dude,
prime Al Horford Hawks was that guy. He really was.
Dude, he was. He's just a timeless player, dude.
Even
I hope
Florida
Al
Gators
plays for
Al
another
Horford
5
was-
years somehow. I wish Al Horford had hair. That'd be crazy.
I don't think he's ever even had hair.
Dude, I'm like, I don't remember. I think he had like the like super like faded buzz
like
cut.
the Carlos Boozer shoe polish. You heard about that? Carlos Boozer had put shoe polish on his head.
Dude, I saw that. I remember that, dude. That was awful. That was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my entire life, and it was the most obvious thing I've ever seen too.
And he owned up to it. He goes, yeah, I put shoe polish on my head. Like I didn't want to be shown bald. I'm like, well, at least I give people credit they admit it. Like, yeah,
at least you admit it.
You know, I forgot to ask. This is in the beginning because we talk about the jersey stuff too. Because I saw people talking about this, and you know with the NBA, I think everyone knows this now. They have the 4 jerseys: Association, Icon, Statement, City. Some do Classics, whatever too. Shout out to the earned jerseys that 1 year run. And there's no set home away. You can wear them. You can wear any jersey anytime. The home team picks the color they're wearing. So the Celtics are like, yeah, we're wearing the black jersey. So pick a jersey that contrasts that opposite of the black. That's why the Knicks are wearing the white ones too. A lot of people are saying that they should go back to the old school ways where the home team wears white and the road team has to wear their color and maybe an alternate here and there. Maybe they can wear an alternate once per series. People don't like the Pacers wearing their city jerseys every single game for the playoffs. What do you think of like the NBA if they went back to that rule in the playoffs where they go back to the traditional old school uniform ways? Because obviously me with a jersey guy, I do like wearing different jerseys at different times, but for some reason I kind of agree with the point where in the playoffs, why not go the classic way where the home team wears white and maybe one game per series you do an alternate if you want to. But the regular season kind of do whatever. Like what do you think of when people talk about that?
I mean, I love like I'm the same in the terms of like I do love a good jersey. I wish there was a little bit more in terms of like how many jerseys there are, and I know that has to do more with like the production of it. But I do kind of see where you're coming from in terms of like keeping that same tradition and kind of keeping things standard. And I don't hate
just
it.
For the playoffs, for the record, for the playoff regular season, you can do whatever. I meant for the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate it because it brings that like concrete identity of the teams into those playoff games where like it actually kind of matters, and like people are gonna look back at those games and see like, you know, if the Celtics are wearing some jersey that's not their regular jerseys like they are now, they might see that and be like, well, wait, what's going on? Why like? So I do kind of like the fact, like, you know, you wear your standard colors during the playoffs, and yeah, maybe one game in the series you switch it up.
If you want.
Yeah. I do, like in that same breath though, I do wish in the regular season, I do wish we saw more jerseys. I wish every team had like 10 jerseys a year. I really do. I would love to see that.
You know, I think the Celtics I give a pass for because it does look kind of similar to their green jersey. It's just a black base. I think there was more of the city jerseys because they're very funky, and the Pacers one is very funky. So I think that's why people are saying maybe don't wear the city ones in the playoffs, but you can wear the alternates.
Is the Pacers city one the like spray painty looking one?
Yeah, but it's the white base this year. Last year was the black. This is city jersey. They've run out of ideas where they just take old past jerseys and they just go, you know what? Change the base color.
We'll figure it out.
That's what the Knicks did this year. The blue pinstripes last year. It's the white pinstripes this year too.
Sometimes
MLB. I think the MLB does a good job with their city jerseys. They change them. You can change them after 3 seasons. I think the NBA needs to kind of do that now. Like, all right. Keep the ones for 2-3 seasons, and you can go back to the old school ones because there's some like the Knicks had the fire department one, their first city jersey where it was just the team was so bad that I should have gotten one, but the team was so bad I didn't want to get like a Courtney Lee one. I don't know why would I get a Courtney Lee one, although now I probably would get it. But like
Courtney Lee,
if like a Jalen Brunson fire department jersey, that city one, that Knicks fans would eat that up. Knicks fans would buy like thousands of those.
Yeah.
Like
I like those jerseys, dude. I mean, I do kind of wish that there were some teams that kept their jerseys more than one season. There are a lot of jerseys that I see what you wear them in, you know, 4 games during the season, and then we never see the jerseys again. I do wish
the Jazz did it. The Jazz keep their city jerseys for 2-3 seasons, like that Mountain one they did. They've kept them for 3 years. They don't really have that many city jerseys.
But I also kind of wish that I wish there wasn't I wish if you had a jersey like the So say the Miami Heat, like the Vice jerseys, like say they wanted to just, or like even like remember the one of my favorite jerseys. Remember the Heatles era, the white hot Heat jerseys.
Oh my God, yeah,
those were so clean.
They did the black tuxedo ones the following year, the same thing, but a black base, and then they after did like the red hot, which was the same, but it was red.
Those were so clean. I wish that they would like. I wish you could just say like, oh, we like the jersey we did in 2019. Let's bring that jersey back. Let's have that jersey. They gotta
do it. It's weird because the classic thing now, they do a rule now where it has to be within like years of like 5 or 10.
Yeah.
Like the 15th anniversary, you can bring it back. 20th year or whatever too. But yeah, like the white hot, like I would love to see those return too.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but like
this,
MLB does a great job where after 3 years they can change it. So I think they should follow suit. Even MLB, like it's only 4+1. MLB does like 160 games. Have at least 10 different rotation jerseys. Yeah. And in the playoffs, to stick with the home and road. This is an old man yelling at clouds. This is essentially what it is. But we don't know why they change the city jerseys every single year. You know why? People eat that up.
Money. I'm fine with adding a new jersey to the rotation. I personally would like to see you be able to have a jersey that you want to keep in rotation and have it stay there.
Like I did my top 10 Celtics jerseys, and I look back, I'm like, they had a lot of good past city jerseys, like that I would love to see them return. Like there were some good ones back then.
There were definitely a couple good ones. I was not. There've been some hits, some misses. I wasn't a huge fan of the banner jerseys. I wasn't a big fan of those, but
I actually kind of liked them now, like years later when you look at it. That's the thing too. Some I hated at first, but I liked them looking back. I'm like, you know what? They actually weren't that bad because, like, again, city jerseys are supposed to be goofy, supposed to be a little bit out there, supposed to be like very creative. To get your creative juices flowing. So,
hey, maybe they'll do another. Maybe they'll take another swing at the sleeve jerseys.
No, do not do that. That was the worst decision ever. People say they miss them. Like I don't personally. I really don't have a sleeve. Which one?
Why don't you guess, Fonz? It was what 2020
was this
16, I think 2015, 2016, something like that.
Was it those gray ones, the gray sleeves?
Oh, it wasn't a Celtics jersey.
Oh, okay. Because those gray Celtics sleeve ones they're actually kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. Those were like good. Like
those were nice.
Not to play and probably just to wear. What team? Can you give me the team? Or can you give me the conference?
Fonz, you know the team. Fonz.
Did I see you wear this before?
No, you didn't see me wear it, but Fonz, you know the team. Fonz, you're wearing the team.
You have a Knicks sleeve jersey?
I have a Knicks sleeve jersey.
What 2016? What was a 2016 sleeve jersey?
I think I might even have it still.
Hold on, let me see.
Did they have a sleeve jersey? The Knicks had a sleeve jersey.
The Knicks had a sleeved jersey, bro. I'm telling you, they did.
The Christmas one they did. Oh my God, what sleeve jersey is he talking about? I'm thinking of a Christmas one, but.
Oh, I don't even know if I still have it. I could have sworn I kept it because I make a point to keep all my jerseys, but maybe I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, that's the one thing for me, Kearns. I'm never getting rid of my jerseys. I'm gonna keep them a big collection till the end of time.
Oh, dude, like 90% of the jerseys I have in here do not fit me at all, and I never wear them anymore. But like,
I have a bunch in a box that I'm gonna hang up on the ceiling in my studio just for the heck of it, you know.
No, it was a mellow sleeved Knicks jersey.
It
was awful, dude. I hated it. I hated it so. I wore it like 3 times. It was just like, this is terrible.
You actually, you know what's funny? I was in the NBA store the other day. You want to feel really old? Guess which jersey's now in the throwback Mitchell and Ness section? Guess which player's rookie jersey's on there that makes you like, what? Really? Already?
For the Knicks?
Yes. No.
Oh, just in general, a current NBA player who's like, rookie jersey.
A star player's rookie jerseys was in the Mitchell Ness, and it's fully like has the Mitchell Ness, has the tag on the bottom saying the rookie year. It's a top NBA player.
There's still a top NBA player?
Yeah, still a top NBA player. Yes.
Steph?
No.
KD?
I think Steph's definitely on there, but I've seen a Steph one, and that was like a couple years ago. But like this one, I think they just kind of put it out there.
So this is more recent then, like way more recent.
He's been in the league for a couple of years already, but like his rookie year just got a former MVP. I'll give you that one. MVPs. Maybe.
Jokic?
MVP. Yeah, Jokic's rookie jerseys in the Mitchell Nets store.
Jesus, dude.
You want to feel old?
That's
His rookie
crazy.
jerseys in the Mitchell Nets. I'm not gonna lie. Would consider getting.
I have a Jokic jersey.
I think Giannis's rookie sophomore game jerseys on Mitchell Nets too. Like the one it says the world. And it's Antetokounmpo on the back.
That'd actually be a sick jersey to get. I won't lie. That would be a dope jersey to get.
42-40 Knicks, by the way. So I feel like in the live we should probably keep updates here and there too.
That is true, yeah.
Listen, we could talk jerseys all day, but I feel like we got some other topics on there too. Another big thing, if you want to get into that one too, because it happened. I completely forgot it happened on Monday, like the event itself.
We can get into that event. Let's stick with the playoffs for now. Get a little bit more into the playoffs because that event is.
I have more questions about that. I just figured I want to remember that stuff too.
Well, let's do. You know what? Actually, I do want to get into that too. So let's do a quick recap of the playoffs so far, where everything sits.
Yeah, we got to get more. I want to get more into the playoffs. I want to get more into it. I just want to remember that because I was like, wait, this is the problem. You forget it happened too.
Oh, dude, I won't lie to you. I didn't even realize it was happening. I got the update that said like, so and so is going to be at the draft lottery tonight, and I was like, the draft lottery is tonight? What the hell?
I was watching the Knicks game at a bar, and they played it. I'm like, huh? But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Let's do the rest of the playoffs because in the West, it's there's some good stuff going on in the West.
Yes, there is. So the Thunder beat the Nuggets. They are up now 3-2 on the Nuggets, which I hate that, dude. I don't want this Thunder team to win, dude. I really don't. I hate the way Shea plays. Like, it bothers me so much.
You and Fitz hate Shea so much. Like,
dude, I don't hate Shea as a person. I hate the way he plays, dude. Like, watch him play. I'm not even kidding. And I know he's not the only one, and I know that like Harden kind of started, but dude, and like I don't know if you saw the clip of the kid that did it. There was a kid in an AAU tournament doing it, and it bothered me so much. But you watch Shea play, it's literally every single play. It's just, and it's like, oh my god, dude, stop!
Free throw.
But dude, literally, there's a video of a kid in an AAU tournament, and he's dribbling down the court, and he's got a guy on his hip, and literally, sorry, I gotta take my headphones off because I'll send them across the room. But he's literally doing this the entire time. He's like, oh. I'm like, buddy, looks like he's going through turbulence or something. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
We're gonna clip that. We're clipping that, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we'll pull from Riverside.
That's literally the only thing we're doing. That's the only thing. There's live stream in a nutshell.
We're gonna put it up with no context either.
It's like the LeBron gift of like that one. That's my favorite gift of all time, though. Because it's the Jokic. It's the Jokic SGA. Because the winner, if we're gonna be real, if the winner of this series is probably gonna win MVP, right? I know saying it's like if like what I'm saying, if Jokic wins it, comes back and wins, you can make an argument that Jokic MVP. Shea wins it, Thunder wins, you can SGA. You know, that's in the conversation.
I mean, I feel like that's probably already decided. I just have a feeling that, dude, like he put up 44, 15, and 5. Jokic. Like, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I feel like this stat line that I'm looking at right now, I think perfectly encapsulates the MVP race. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, amazing game. I'm not gonna take away from amazing game. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Led his team in points and assists. That's awesome. Jalen Williams led them in rebounds with 9. Nikola Jokic, 44 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Led his team in points, rebounds, and assists.
And everything.
Yeah, like I'm like, what are we like? What is the argument here? What are we doing? I guess
because people also factor in team success, which I think when you're in the MVP, it's not all of it, but MVP you have to put some factor into your team success.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's why I
have to say that too. So
I am not, and I don't think it'll ever happen. Nor do I. Oh, son of a bitch, drop my pen. I don't think it'll ever happen. Nor am I necessarily like pushing for it to happen. I just don't necessarily think I'd have an issue with it if they literally either changed the MVP or like created a new award, like kind of like how the NFL has that your MVP, but then they have like offensive player of the year type stuff. Like,
I get and then sometimes the offensive player wins MVP if they had like a ridiculous like 60s like Cam Newton in 2015.
Yep,
won both, like something like that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think it would be interesting to see them have. Jesus, he shot 68% from the field too, and 71%. I think it would just be interesting because I think that argument we see that a lot is like, is it always the best player that's winning MVP? No, it's really not. Or like, and I know some people are gonna have a problem with it, but like realistically, if the best player in the league won MVP, LeBron would have probably 11 MVPs. Like
Kobe would have had a lot more.
Kobe would have had probably like 4 or 5. Well,
it's crazy. He's only had you keep forgetting he only had one MVP.
It is crazy. He only had one MVP.
He should have had more. If we're gonna be honest here, I think he should have had more. Right? You would think.
I think it's tough. I think it's kind of tough to see. I think that like there are definitely some MVPs that you kind of question, like Steve Nash's second MVP, not his first.
Yeah,
I think he deserved his first.
Yes,
his second MVP, he probably could have gone to either Kobe or LeBron. I think, and don't get me wrong, and this is blasphemous coming out of my mouth because I love this man to death. He's probably my second favorite. Sorry, someone just came up on Twitch and I need to block it. He's probably my second favorite player of all time, but.
I think I know who you're going. I think I know who you're talking about.
LeBron or Kobe or someone else probably could have won Derrick Rose's MVP.
I literally, again, love Derrick Rose. Fan of Derrick Rose. But people were talking about that too, because I think at the time LeBron just came to Miami, was viewed as like the villain. So people were talking about that one too. Yeah, I knew you were going to mention that because people were saying, yeah, Rose was youngest MVP. Definitely could be in the conversation, but should he have really won it that year? I think it was because LeBron went to Miami his first year.
I think the only MVP other than that's kind of like, I get it, but at the same time, I think there was someone that was more valuable, was probably the 2018 Harden MVP. And I know people will average whatever 30-something whatever points, but it was also like, Joel
Embiid.
Yeah. And Joel. Oh my God, how did I forget Joel Embiid? Yeah, Joel Embiid should.
I mean, that's another one. That's the one I think of. That's the one he should have maybe an MVP at one point, but not that year. You know what I mean? There's some players that like you think, like they should be an MVP, but not for that particular season. If that makes sense,
Yep. And it's just weird. Like, I get it. Like, again, I get why he won. He had fantastic stats. It was just like I just don't think he was the most valuable player to his team. I think that there was other guys who should have won over him. But hey, I'm not. I don't get a vote. Where do I get a vote, Fonz? When do I get to have a vote? Okay.
Do you want me, you, and Fitz to get a vote in this? Because our awards would just not be aligned at all with everybody else's, and we would have just a bunch of Knicks and Celtics winning all these awards.
I want you and me to get a vote. I don't want Fitz to get a vote.
Here's the MVP ballots here. All right, Shea, Jokic, one vote for Jalen Brunson, one vote for Josh Hart, one for Peyton Pritchard. One
for Peyton Pritchard.
Dude, of the year as well too.
Dude, I would vote for like Boban or something. Be like, who voted for Boban? Immediately revoke my voting status.
You're not helping your case to win an MVP. I'm just gonna throw that out there to get an MVP award. A vote, excuse me.
Okay, well,
your case at all.
Guys, I promise I won't vote for Boban. I'm gonna vote for Boban. He's not even in the league anymore.
So before we get to the other playoff series, because I want to talk about the Warriors-Wolves one. Yep. So do you think Thunder close it out?
I hope not.
in game 6, like you think that there could be a possibility too?
I think it's a possibility.
Chance to. And then we go to the offseason with the Nuggets because the thing with the Michael Malone firing. Yeah. What's going to happen? Like, what was the whole thing with that? It seems like it's still very weird to us that happened at the time too.
Well, yeah, I think that's going to hang over a lot of people's heads. Just the fact of, like, you fired your coach right before, and then you guys looked pretty bad. Like, your whole team, you were really dragged to the playoffs by Jokic. Like, let's be honest here. This team has been arguably the most... I mean, maybe the Celtics have, but this team's probably been the most, like, inconsistent team this entire playoffs. It feels like it's Jokic and then whoever decides to step up, whether it's Jamal Murray, whether it's Aaron Gordon had a couple games that he's stepped up, but he's also played kind of iffy. Michael Porter Jr. looks terrible this entire playoffs.
But he'll have like that one game where you're like, oh, okay, that's the Michael Porter Jr. week. Like, that's the one that should be, yeah.
Yep. And then even like Russ. Like, Russ has had some decent moments off the bench and played okay, but then also he's had, like, this last game, he shot 1 for 7. It's like...
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like... Dude, I don't know, man. It's like... That's the reason why I don't know if the OKC is going to close this out, because if literally 2 of those guys step up a little bit...
There's so many options the Nuggets have that someone can step up with the Nuggets. Jokic is bringing it. You have someone on that can easily do it.
Don't even need to do that much. You just have to be efficient. Like, Jamal Murray had 28 points last game, but he did it on 27 shots. So it's like, okay, cool.
Oh.
Aaron Gordon was actually okay. He shot 6 of 13. Like, not amazing, but, like, okay.
It's not bad, though.
But then, like, just listen, like, the shooting percentages of this team. Michael Porter Jr., 1 for 7. Aaron Gordon, 6 for 13. Jokic, 17 for 25, 68%. So actually, Michael Porter Jr., 14%. Aaron Gordon, 46%. Christian Brown, 25%. Jamal Murray, 37%. Russell Westbrook, 14%, also 1 of 7. Peyton Watson, 25%. Julius Rother, 50%. Sounds great. He was 1 of 2. So it's like, dude, what? And then you look at the Thunder, it's like Jalen Williams, well, actually, he did not have a good game. 35%. Chet, 66% from the field. Isaiah Hartenstein, 70%. Lou Dort, 50%. Shea, 52%. Alex Caruso, 40%. Aaron Wiggins, 25%. Not good. Casey Wallace, 50%. Jalen Williams, 50%. It's like, all right, like, who really is the MVP, right? Like, one guy had...
It's a good argument.
One guy had no one else on his team shoot over 50% except for one guy that took 2 shots.
Let me tell you something, though. Listen, as I always loved Hartenstein, that was a good signing by the Thunder.
That was a great signing.
Very good signing by the Thunder.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not even mad. Like, that's like perfect.
That was actually an excellent signing.
What's the mean? It was perfect. Perfect. Right down to the last minute detail. Perfect.
I was over here quoting Homelander. Oh my god.
But this is where we are now in the stream. The other series, the Warriors, Timberwolves. I gotta give it. Listen, there's no slander of this guy, but I give so much credit to Julius Randle stepping up big with Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, I'll always still root for Julius Randle. I'm still rooting for him to this day. Shout out to the T-Wolves. Just gotta say it. Julius Randle. Once a Nick, always a Nick.
I mean, yeah, this game it's over. This series is over, I think. Is Steph playing in game 6? No, game 5?
Definitely not game 5. If it gets to a game 6, potentially.
I just don't think they can win without Steph. Like,
that's the problem. They're waiting for a game 6. That's probably likely not going to happen. Is it at Minnesota or no? It's at Minnesota, right? Or is it at Golden State?
Game 5 is in Minnesota.
I don't know. That's gonna be tough.
And then it's back to Golden. It's back to where is it? They just moved their arena, didn't they? They're not in Oakland anymore.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah,
it's now San Francisco.
For game 6, which, dude, I just don't think that happens. I just don't think you beat this team.
No, you're relying on that, and Anthony Edwards is playing out of his friggin' mind. By the way, that's a future MVP right there. Throw it out. That is an MVP.
Yeah, 31-5-3 for Julius, 34-5 for Anthony Edwards. Like, Jonathan Kuminga had 23 points and 1 assist. That's it. Kevon Looney 8 points, 8 rebounds. Jimmy Butler had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, what happened to playoff Jimmy, dude?
They really want Kuminga to be that guy, and it just seems like it's not working for him in Golden State. Like, they really want him to be that guy.
I would be very surprised if he continued to be in Golden State after this season, to be honest.
They did try to trade him. Didn't they try to trade him at least for the past 2 trade deadlines?
I think they've been very stingy about it, though. Oh, hold on. I just want to see. We've got a couple comments that we kind of went past.
Yeah, sorry. Also, by the way, it's halftime, tied at 59-59. Currently, you gotta watch a little bit more of the second half if you want to.
We can get into it because we still got one big topic we got to get into a little bit here. One thing that happened.
One thing. And by the way, this game has been going pretty quick too, so I'm down to watch a little bit more.
Watch a little bit more.
Let's get some more of the comments.
We have EOS Shout out to Michaela. Hey guys, popping in to say hello and support. Love you guys. Love to see you guys yapping. We are not yapping. We are speaking eloquently and gentlemanlike.
And we only talk sports. No news, no politics, just sports here on JF Sports. NBA.
And
Subway
then,
series is happening.
Subway sandwiches are happening right here on JDF Sports.
Do they? This is not. I don't know. So we'll, you know what? We'll talk sandwiches. We'll do it at the end of the show. More sandwich bets. But any other comments?
Guys,
oh, no.
If you want to just if you want the biggest highlight of where we've come as a global financial state of mind, do you guys remember the $5 footlong?
Oh, yeah.
A footlong at Subway is like $12 now. Okay, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That's not even the combo now. By the way.
It's not. The combo's like $15, dude. It's bad. It's not good.
Yeah, 15. That's being nice.
Sometimes you gotta schmooze the Subway guy a little bit. Real quick, Wesley Burton also said Harden averaged 30-something, would also probably give up 24 points a game on defense this year. Yeah, 100%. Like was a cone on defense that entire season.
I think a cone would have been better on defense than James Harden. I think the dude literally just did not want to play defense. Like, literally did not care for defense. It's crazy.
No. He had that one play on DeMar DeRozan where he just swiped the ball without looking, and everyone was like, "Oh, maybe he is a good defender." And it's like, no, this doesn't make him a good defender. That was a cool play. Cool play. Doesn't make you a good defender. That's insane. But like we saw it, I think someone said it in either one of the last live shows we had or in the Discord. Which, by the way, if you like talking sports and you want to talk sports with us and other awesome people, make sure to join the JDF Discord. Go on Twitch and type Discord into the Twitch chat, and our bot will send you the Discord link, and you can join the Discord.
Very simple. Also, different channels within the Discord. So, like, if you just want to talk hoops, you can join the NBA channel. If you want to talk hoops, baseball, and even sports uniforms, there's different channels for everything, so you don't have to, like, be stuck on every single thing. If you like certain topics, join whatever you want. Little sampler platter. A little bit of everything. Love a good sampler platter, by the way.
Oh, great sampler platter. Feeds families, literally.
Oh, literally, yeah. Families feeds me.
Feeds Fonz.
Feeds me. It's the families.
Definitely join the Discord. We've got, like Fonz said, baseball, basketball, football, wrestling. We've got gambling if you're a degenerate. We've got card collecting. We've got the OnlyFans link.
Huh?
Wait, hold on. What was? What was that?
Only feet.
Only. We've got the feet pics.
Thing. Apparently, I don't know what that is, but apparently it's a thing.
Yeah, join the Discord and Fonz will send you a foot pic.
They make a lot of money, so.
Hey man,
economy's rough right now.
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's all I'm saying. You gotta do what you gotta do. A lot of playoff injuries, Fonz. A lot of injuries. It feels like this playoffs.
I mean, now that the Tatum one, even before the Tatum, you had the Steph Curry one. You know, that was like a brutal one too. Yeah, you really even in the first round, you know, Bucks. I know Damian Lillard came back from the other injury he had, but then he had the Achilles too. So like, this is like the one place where there's been like a lot of different injuries too.
Yeah, I mean we had
which is like
Tatum in the first round had his injury. We have now Kristaps, which technically isn't an injury, but we'll count it. It was
I don't know
mono. I'm calling it mono until someone proves me wrong. Curry got hurt. Say what you want to say about it, but LeBron was hurt. Dame Lillard obviously kind of came back, but wasn't healthy, and like I got hurt even more. So it feels like there's been a lot of weird injuries this year.
Dame had a rough year, as far as like with injury wise too, and the health scare too. Like he had a really brutal year.
Yeah, Dame had. Oh yeah, because he had that like blood clot thing too, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he came back in the second round, or at least the middle of the first round, or something, and then it was the first round because it was against the Pacers. So yeah,
and they also didn't make it out of the first round because they're bums. Sorry, carried away. Talking about this man's life.
Shout out Milwaukee.
Shout out my Bucks. Shout out all my Bears. Now that's That's an old video. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
That is old. Yeah.
Speaking of old, I'm just looking at Shaq, man. Shaq looks old as shit.
You know he's the GM now of Sacramento State, the basketball in college now.
Yeah.
So does this mean after this he's not going to be on inside the NBA anymore with TNT? Like he's going to be focusing on that, right? Because he can't do media and this.
He probably could. I don't think he's going to
get tired.
No.
Does he get tired? This is everything.
Well, I thought are they continuing inside the NBA? I know it's not going to be on TNT, but are they still doing it? I thought they were.
I thought they're moving to ESPN. I think.
Let me look. I'm looking.
I have no idea. Yeah, but like because Shaq's the GM of Sacramento State with basketball, and Mike Bibby's like their coach now. He's bringing everybody in.
Oh yeah, it is just transitioning over to ESPN. Okay. Yeah, dude, Mike Bibby is jacked. I don't know if you've seen him, but that man has hit the weight room.
Yeah, jacked Mike Bibby. Dude's different. Mike Bibby was sick, by the way, in the NBA also.
Mike Bibby was a solid point guard.
You have no idea how good Mike Bibby was.
You have no idea who Tim Duncan was.
You have no idea how good Tim Duncan was. No, really, honestly, he made a good point with that video. People do not realize now that Tim Duncan was one of the best players in the NBA.
Tim Duncan was that guy. He just wasn't flashy. That's all people care about.
That's what
now.
It was.
So I can't talk to people anymore. Like anyone who just like. I mean, I work with kids, so I have to talk to them all the time. And then, like, when I go play basketball at, like, the local parks and stuff, I'll talk to kids that are, like, younger than me. And some of the that comes out of their mouth, I'm just like, you guys need to go and just watch. Like, they have no respect for it. Who put that there? They have no respect for, like, anyone. Like, the only person they know from, like, before 2010 is... That it wasn't like, if it's not Jordan, they're just like, yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm just like, or like, it's like, oh no, that guy was trash. I'm like,
who? Whoa, that's so disrespectful, man.
You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea how good.
Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan was like the power forward, like who was better. And it was always a heated debate between the two.
I think I said something the other day. I said something the other day, and I was at the park playing with people, and I said something to the guys the other day, and I said something about Rasheed Wallace, and some kid was like, who is that? And I was like, Rasheed Wallace? You know who Rasheed Wallace is? And I was like, he was on the Celtics, he was on the Pistons. Like, he's Sheed, man. What do you mean you don't know who Sheed is? He's that dude.
Record for most technical fouls in a season.
Facts, dude. Like, he was the bully. He was that guy.
The Pistons traded for him, and they won a title that year. Like, that's...
Dude, I loved when Sheed was on the Celtics.
He was a Knick, too, by the way.
He was a Knick. He was a Bobcat, right? I think he was a Bobcat.
No, he was a Blazer. He was on the jail Blazers.
He was on the Blazers, yep. He was on the
Blazers, then traded to the Hawks, played with the Hawks for one game, then got traded to the Pistons, and they won the title that year. That's what it was. You know what's a good rare pull? A Rasheed Wallace Atlanta Hawks jersey. For one game, he wore it.
Yeah, it's almost as rare as a Carmelo Anthony Atlanta Hawks jersey.
Yeah, well, at least Rasheed Wallace actually played.
Played one game. Yeah, that's actually crazy. He played one game with them and then got immediately shipped off. That is insane.
That's literally what happened. That's literally what happened. Yeah, I think he actually had like a good game too. It was like I think he had like close to 20 points that game also. Like it was a good one game he started for.
Dude, Sheed was a hooper back in the day. Sheed was a legit hooper.
Well, we're getting at that age now because I'm sure there's people that are older than us that feel the same way about certain players back in their day, and we're we have no like some maybe some, but I feel like we know a lot more of players back then. But there's probably some casual fans like at our age that were like, I don't know who that is, but they were probably like really good back then, and they're gonna feel the same way now too,
Oh yeah, dude. There's definitely people who they look back and they're like, oh, you'll never know how good Nick Anderson was. You'll never know the kind of player he was. You never know the kind of player. I guess I'm stuck on this name, but you never know the kind of baller that Nick Van Exel was.
Nick Van Exel was a baller.
Nick Van Exel was a baller. You'll never know. You never.
You have no idea how good Julius Randle was.
All right, dude. I can't wait. I can't wait to yell at kids when I'm in 10 years and be like, listen, youngins, Before that injury, y'all have no idea who this man Brandon Roy was. God, I swear to you.
Yeah. You have no idea how good Peyton Pritchard was.
Luke Cornett was a basketball god.
What's the thing you did when you was at the parade? Was it Luke?
That man was on one that entire parade.
I would be too, honestly. Cornett's a former Knick, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, he played for, I think it was like 1 year. He was one of the god awful Knicks teams, by the way. I deserve this. I'm happy. I deserve this. I watched a lineup with Quincy AC in the line, which I love Quincy AC, but like he was like our starting power forward that year.
Hey man, I had to do it too. I remember when our brightest hope was Jordan Crawford for a month when he won NBA Player of the Month.
Crawford was a baller too. You have no idea how good Jordan Crawford was.
Brother, my only shining light was Brandon Bass's mid-range jump shot. No, I can't even say that. That was for like 4 years. We were mid, and we weren't even that bad. We were just mid.
Brandon Bass had a good mid-range shot.
Yeah.
Brandon Bass, that was like that's like the random player that like I'll remember. Brandon Bass I always remember him in like trade deadline like talks too. Him, and there's another one, Carl Landry.
Carl Landry.
I don't know why.
Ooh.
I don't know why. I always, whenever the trade deadline comes around, I'll always think of Carl Landry because I feel like he was always involved in trade talks at the deadline. It was always moved. I don't know why. Every time that period happens, I always think of Carl Landry. I still think he might get traded today. I'm not kidding. Does anyone else remember Carl Landry? Like,
dude, I do. Carl Landry Carl Landry was. I feel like anyone who's a sports fan and played sports games growing up have those like key players that he used to draft or take. Carl Landry was like one of my first guys off the bench on almost every single 2K team I ever built because he was so consistent.
In like the fantasy draft, they're always like in the free agent pool. You're like, you know what? I could use him. Aaron Aflalo's another one too.
Oh, Aaron Aflalo definitely was up there. Fantastic player. Can I give you one that Gerald Green? Yep. I'm gonna give you one that's not basketball, baseball.
Okay.
Guy who I went out of my way to draft every single team I made because he was always available. I actually got to see this guy in AAA ball, and I actually told him. My grandfather used to have like basically front row seats for the Paw Sox, so we were like right on the fence, and he was warming up, and I yelled it to him, and I said, "I draft you every time I build a team." Lastings like, Millage.
Oh. Lastings Millage, man. Dude,
I knew that was gonna get you.
That's the Mets player that I always think about, and I'm like, man, I really wish he had a better run with us.
Yep.
Because because Lastings Millage was like a top prospect, and I really thought he was gonna be something. But now he had a moment, and I think it was he hit a home run, and he got so hyped he was like high-fiving the fans. It was his first career home run, and I think veterans in the locker room or in the clubhouse like didn't like that, and they told him like, don't do that. Don't do the antics. Don't do the antics or whatever. And I think that I don't know if it was fully thing, but like that kind of hurt his momentum and his confidence, and he didn't really do it as much, and he ended up just struggling. I think today he would do great with that, with the kind of impact he had. But Lastings Millage that gets me because I really wanted him to be very good. He was a big hyped Mets prospect.
Yep.
You have no idea how good Lastings Millage
was. Oh my god, dude. Moving on a little bit from our sports fandom and our sports video game memorabilia. So Nico Collins and the NBA committed treason, right? Like, or not Nico Collins. Nico Harrison.
Nico Collins.
Isn't that the Texans wide receiver?
Yeah, wait a minute. I was about to say. I'm like, hold on. He might have, honestly. Dude. I have no idea.
He could have too. He could have been involved in that somehow. But Nico Harrison, I'm sorry, dude, but looking back on this Luka trade, now that the Mavericks somehow managed to get the number 1 pick, there's zero doubt in my mind that Adam Silver called Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison and was like, listen, the ratings are starting to go down. We need something to shake the league up that's going to get people interested. I want you to trade Luka to LA for AD, and we will guarantee you get the number 1 pick in this year's draft. And Rob Pelinka said, yep, we want Luka. And Nico Harrison said, well, I don't want to give up Luka. Well, actually, he's an idiot, so he still probably said I want to give up Luka. But he said, well, if I can get the first pick in the draft and I can get a tall, skinny, athletic white boy for the tall, not so skinny, not as athletic white boy, then yeah, we'll do that. I'll take Cooper Flag for. I mean, essentially, you traded. Dude, I hate it because it's like he won the trade now, right? Because essentially, you traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag.
Listen, I get it, and you know what's funny with the NBA draft lottery? What was the projected top 3? It was Wizards, Hornets. What was the third team?
Toronto, maybe?
What was the Toronto or so one of those 3 teams, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, that's gonna be the top. Oh no, Utah. Sorry, Utah.
Oh, Utah, yeah.
It was like, oh, it's gonna be those top 3. And in my head, I'm like, no, it's not like no. I'm like maybe 1, maybe. I'm like, I know it's gonna be in the top 4 at least. But I was watching. By the way, I was at the bar watching the Knicks game, and I was like, wait, they have the draft lottery on before this, and we were watching. And I turned to my friend, and I'm like, the top 4 selections, here's going to be in the top 3. Here's going to be 3 of those 4 teams. The Sixers, Mavericks, and the Spurs. He's like, no, they all have like low projections. I'm like, no, they're gonna put the Hornets or somebody in that forward thing. And no, it's not rigged. I'm like, think about it like this. They want to build Wembanyama with the Spurs. Sixers, they're falling apart and need to kind of rebuild it because they have some sort of a team there. And the Mavericks just trade away their generational talent. They're gonna make them the top 3. And as it was happening, I see it. He looks at me and goes, you might be right, because what happened? Number 3, San Antonio Spurs or whatever. 2, Sixers, and 1, the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm going to say this now, Kearns. I think, and I truly think, we all owe Nico Harrison a full-fledged apology. Because while we were all playing checkers, while everybody, all the GMs, Rob Pelinka, Leon Rose, everybody in between, while they're playing checkers, Nico Harrison was playing chess.
Bro, Nico Harrison was playing like fucking spades on the chessboard or some shit.
And guess what happened? Listen, with this Luka trade, he may have lost the battle, but he didn't lose the war.
All I'm saying, Fonz, is listen. If this isn't the most rigged thing ever, and he wasn't getting the direct guarantee from Adam Silver saying, you are going to get the number 1 seed. By the way, Jaylen Brown and Josh Hart just like got into a fight, so that's fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Anyways,
gonna be a fist fight in this game. There's gonna be
probably, dude.
Game. I know what's gonna happen.
Fucking Boston dumbass
Josh Hart,
fans are
it's a floater. It's a floater.
They're gonna like storm the court if we lose and go try to like beat up Josh Hart or something, or Jalen Brunson or something.
MSG's gonna go. MSG outside is probably nuts right now. I already know that for a fact.
But anyways, like I don't see how you pull this trade unless you're getting that absolute guarantee that like, yeah, you're gonna get the number 1 pick. Like, hey, here's your number 1 pick. Here's your reward for sending one of the best players in the league to one of the most prominent franchises in our league so that they can stay competitive for the next 10 years after their other superstar retires.
It's such a weird thing, man.
Yep.
Even if they got a number, even if they had the 3rd pick, you'd still be like, damn, well, hey. What? And also, was this their own pick, the Mavericks, or was
no? I was thinking about that too. I think it still was their picks. I think because they lost in the play-in, so that still kicks them out.
Yeah. So play-in doesn't mean you make. Obviously, play-in doesn't mean you make the playoffs. So if you lose the play-in, you still go into the draft lottery. You're still technically a lottery team. It's not set in an order like for the playoff losses. Like play-in, you go to the lottery. Yeah.
Wow, that's a hell of a play by JB.
But like you lose the play-in. And you have like if you lose the play in what you get if it was a regular order be 14, 15, right around that area, I would say, depending on like the seeding after that.
Yeah.
And what was it, like a 1% chance?
It's very low. I don't know the exact. I think 1.8. I think maybe.
Mm-hmm. I think like and this is a whole nother discussion, like this draft lottery thing, like we've seen it countless times, if we're going to be honest. You know, the frozen envelope for the Patrick Ewing with the Knicks. It's been a theory for a while. LeBron 03, Cleveland first pick. He's from Cleveland. Derrick Rose, 08 Chicago. You know, kind of things in that nature too. Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis leaves. Pelicans get the first pick the following year. So it just feels like this is just like do you still like the draft lottery if you know this is going to happen? Like,
I mean, look at it this way. I saw something today that was like, there's one I can't think of, but it was like, maybe it was Chris Paul leaves New Orleans, the Pelicans get the first pick. Anthony Davis leaves New Orleans, Pelicans get the first pick. And then it was obviously this Mavs trade Luka, they get the first pick, and there was one other that I can't remember. It might have been LeBron leaves Cleveland, they get the first pick, or
the Kyrie one, right?
There was another one that was even like worse, though, that it was like so and so left and they got the first pick still. So it's like there's definitely, I don't know, there's definitely, like, I can't sit here and you really can never say 100% that like, oh, something is rigged, but like when it happens that often, it's kind of like, okay, it's weird. It's at least weird.
Yeah, once or twice, I'm like, not as like, I might, it happens, but like this is like a constant thing that's been happening. So it's like, are you sure? You sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
It was the Pelican Zion one that I was really like, all right, shut this down. Like, what's going on here?
Right, and that was another one where like they weren't in that position to be. I mean, they definitely were lower than where the Mavs were now, but I don't think they were in the position to be the number one pick. But I think you also look at the league too. Like you mentioned, like it was supposed to be like Washington, Utah, and Charlotte. Could you think of 3 other teams that not a single person wants to watch, dude? Like even when Washington, I will say Washington had some really great battles with Boston in playoffs a couple of years ago, back when IT was here and all that good stuff, and those were fun. But like no one really wanted to.
Washington kind of has built like a solid roster that they can maybe compete years down the line, and I think having a Cooper Flag would have like helped them out a lot more. So I get, I get what you're saying.
But like realistically, like Utah, no one really wants to watch a Utah. Even when like the Utah Jazz were in the playoffs when they had Hayward, or when Donovan Mitchell was back there, like people were like, "Oh, cool, Utah's in the playoffs." But like, do we really care? That's a crazy shot. Like, do we really care that much? Yeah, and then Charlotte, it's just like Charlotte's probably the worst franchise in the league.
It's one of the worst run in all sports.
I mean, when the best player in your franchise history is a toss up between probably Kemba Walker and Glenn Rice, like your franchise probably sucks.
And it's not like they've been around since '95. I know before that probably, maybe in the '90s, but like they left and they went back in 2004 with that Charlotte Bobcats era. But yeah, it's like. But I think that's what people are arguing with, like the NBA. Like, you want to grow the league and grow all the teams, where it seems like sometimes like they favor the big market teams a lot more, which is fair. I see it from time to time as well too. But you see other leagues like baseball and even the NFL where they market to everybody. I mean, I'll give you an example of the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they've been successful for now as of late recent years, but like before Patrick Mahomes. They were like a middle of the pack team, and also in Kansas City, like the best team in the NFL, best player in the NFL plays for a team in Kansas City, not like New York, not Los Angeles, not in Florida, in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. You gotta like see, like I feel like the NFL does a little bit better job with that too, where like they treat all the teams kind of equally, like with the players and the marketing, and so that's kind of I think you would see with the NBA. That it has a little bit of a struggle here and there. That's just kind of what I'm seeing from my perspective too. Maybe I'm different, but that's like a whole other that's a whole other debate. It's back to the NBA ratings thing, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I think the ratings is a big part of it, and they know they have to go and kind of, no, I wouldn't say cater, but they definitely have to lean towards some of the bigger market teams, because the bigger market teams are what allow the league to keep running. They're about to push the league forward. But yeah, it was so crazy to see, like, I mean, I think it's going to be super interesting. Like you have 3 teams that are like with a top pick with the 76ers, Mavs, and Spurs, like those are 3 teams you put a top pick on those teams, and maybe the Spurs need another year or so because they're still very young, but like those teams are like contenders already.
Yeah, like, Cooper Flag and Wembanyama. And by the way, I like Castle, that Castle guy.
Yeah, Stephon Castle.
Stephon Castle, or that guy can hoop. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of his game.
And now they get to go add
like him.
Anyone not named Cooper Flag to that roster that already has Wemby and Stephon Castle.
One of the Rutgers guys, right? Because there's 2 Rutgers guys that are going to go into the draft. I gotta get into when we get closer to the draft. I want to do more draft stuff with that, so I want to get the prospects' names more. But I know there's 2 guys from Rutgers that are projected in like the top 10. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
there's a couple guys. I gotta honestly get into it a little bit more because I haven't been as synced into it as I know I should have. Honestly, the 2 names that I know. Or like 3, I think there's like 3 or 4 names that I know. Obviously, Cooper Flag. There's Ace Bailey. There's Dylan Harper. There's DJ Wagner, I think. But other than that, outside of those guys, I am also kind of like I really don't know who's gonna be the big big names going into this NBA draft. But it should be a good draft. From what I've heard, it's definitely supposed to be a good draft. Like last year's draft was
it's way better than. Yeah, but this one is supposed to be really good. Apparently, the following year might be just as good too. But look at this Mavericks. Now the Mavericks have said they're not trading the pick. Like they're taking Cooper Flag. They've already said like, we're taking Cooper Flag. It wouldn't shock me because I think the NFL's done this a couple of times where like, they already know who they're picking. They already signed him to this contract. They can technically do that as the number 1 pick. They could already be like, Cooper, here's your contract. You sign it, and you're officially our number 1 pick. Like yeah. That's going to be sealed, signed, delivered. So now it'd be when he comes back from injury, Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis. That's a pretty good. Now, is it going to be top competitive in the West? If Davis and Kyrie were a little bit younger, then yes.
Yeah. Kind of depends on how good Cooper Flag is. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But we can bounce off those 2 guys, those veterans, for the first couple of years, or how long those guys want to continue playing, at least for the Mavericks. Then you build around him. Down Flag with some other guys down the line too, and you have some other guys. Little
you still have solid, you feel like a lot of solid pieces there.
PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. I like those 2 guys. There.
Derek Lively.
You have like Derek Lively. So like again, listen. Obviously, I don't get how they still trade away their generational talent, but like they're not in like a terrible like doom scenario.
Yeah.
Like, they really aren't. Like, it's not the worst situation they're in. There's like a handful of teams that are in a far worse situation.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'll say that
it
for
also depends on how Davis and Kyrie come back from their injuries.
Yeah.
That's also kind of a big factor.
I'll say for a team that traded away their generational talent in a trade that was seen by most to be a very bad trade. They're definitely not as bad as they're not as bad off as they could be. They could be in absolute hell right now versus, again, depending on how they come back from injuries, you still have a guy who can get you 25 a night in Kyrie.
Yeah.
Probably 26, 27 even. You have a guy who is
looked like he enjoyed playing in Dallas. He enjoyed playing in Dallas. He actually was pretty solid for them, so yeah.
You have a guy who is still, even though he is older, is still a perennial defensive player of the year candidate. And now you have the best prospect in this year's draft. And then you have a bunch of solid role players. Like, could be worse.
And you have a couple.
Oh, and you have the corpse of Klay Thompson. I completely forgot about that.
What? And I forgot about, but like he can still give you a couple of buckets here and there. So like, yeah, again. Do you want this to be in this spot? But it also, if they didn't get the first pick, then we would be singing a different tune, obviously. If they were stuck at pick 14, then we'd be like, yeah, like they're in a bad spot. But like, we're kind of factoring a lot how Flag can kind of develop into this. But again, Nico Harrison, chess. Everyone else, checkers. It's now 70-67, by the way. 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
It is, dude.
This is like a battle, man. Everyone's coming after each other, man. Missoula, by the way, got a little chippy with the ref before. I don't know if you saw that.
Joe's a psychopath. He's probably pissed off.
Yeah, listen again. I should hate the Celtics team, but like I like Joe Mazzulla. Like I said, like this guy's a nut job, but I kind of like that. You know?
Hard not to like Joe Mazzulla, if we're being honest.
I mean, him and Thibodeau. That's just like a psychotic head coaching battle. If we're gonna be completely honest here between both of them.
That is fair. That is fair. Alrighty, Fonz. You ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. I think we went on a pretty long tangent. I'm gonna watch the rest of this game and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I want to focus on the last quarter and a half of this game here. Well, Fonz, It was great to talk some basketball with you. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, it's been
Get some
a while.
shows with us too on here. For everyone watching, make sure you go follow JDF Sports. Follow us on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok, and join our Discord. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, because I'm not calling it X. Go follow us. Well, we don't really put something on Spotify, but go follow us on Spotify anyway, because why not?
We're going to be getting on Spotify soon. Don't worry. We're going to be getting on doing all that stuff, but I don't want to say too much, but keep patient, everybody.
Make sure you guys are tuned in Saturday night. Me and Fitz should be gaming. Maybe Fonz will join us again. He's over here, actually. Maybe Fonz will join us again.
Possibility for Saturday, yes. Possibility.
Is Dylan going live tomorrow?
No, Dylan is there. Out of Bounds will be taking a little bit of a break, but they will be back.
Okay.
Listen, if you keep following us, you'll know when things are coming back in the fold, so not to worry.
See, sometimes I even get confused. My brain's tiny, though, so just don't have a tiny brain, you won't get confused. But, we'll be back on Saturday, but once again, follow us at JDF Sports. JDF Sports Network on YouTube, but JDF Sports on Twitch, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. Make sure you join the Discord if you want to talk sports and cards and jerseys and you want to get feet pics from Fonz. Wait, hold on.
Huh?
Wait, hold on. But thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.
See ya.